Jefferson Airplane.
All right. The best for last. All right. I got it right here. I
Hey,
always forget to get the record out. I like everything I picked, like I have the record, but here it is. Surrealistic Pillow, by Jefferson Airplane. My record is actually like a terrible copy. It's all like torn up and stuff. But yeah. I love this album. I think I chose it because I feel like out of all like the early '60s like San Francisco psychedelic bands, I feel like they're not talked about a lot, as much as like they should be, I think. So that's why I picked it. They were kind of like the first band to kind of blow up in San Francisco as like the psychedelic band, and I think like once they blew up with like the hits off this album, that a lot of record labels started signing a lot more bands, like psychedelic bands, in that area. So they're a pretty important band. I think this is, I mean, I don't know too much of their other albums, but this album I think is where they really get it. Um, yeah, so classics, on this. The first song is awesome. I love the first song. She Has Funny Cars. Um, Somebody to Love, a classic. And then you got like White Rabbit, like the super dark Alice in Wonderland kind of song, which is a classic, doing drugs song, right?
like that's the album that like, or that's the song where like the shot in the TV show is just like of the eye, you know?
Yeah. Yikes. That's kind of spooky stuff. But I just think like some of the songs on like the other songs on here are like great. Like just the guitar playing and like the flute arrangements, throughout the album is just beautiful. Like Today, um Embryonic Journey is like a beautiful. I used that song as the back song of when I went to Alaska. I did like my nature video, and I just put that song in the back, and it's just kind of beautiful little like naturey video I made. But yeah, I don't know. It's just some cool stuff. I just think more people should listen to this album. That's all I gotta say. What do you guys think?
I'm totally in agreement. I mean, it's one of those albums that I think, of all the ones that we've been talking about today, I think Surrealistic Pillow is the most, um, it has the strongest archetype to it. You know what I mean? Like it is the icon of a genre that is incredible, like fully encapsulates what is going on at that period of time, at that like in that moment. It's counterculture. It is like it's free love. It is hippy dippy and trippy, and is
Yeah.
really for me encapsulating a lot of the characteristics of the time period. And for that alone, like I think that it's an incredibly valuable album to listen to in the sense of like, okay, like what the heck was going on in California in the '60s where everybody's doing drugs and like, and fighting the man. This is the kind of stuff that they were producing. This is the kind of stuff that was really popular. And you can hear like one thing, one of my favorite parts about that genre generally, but like this album is that there's a lot of um, like it's on the cusp of a lot of like sonic innovations, right? Like a lot of different ways where you can make instruments sound differently while still being recognizable to a an America that is folk. It's like blues. It's starting to get a little blues rocky, right? Like I think those are the parts of the album that I really liked in the sense of being able to sort of see like, oh, like this is this is at this point in music history, and I really enjoyed it for that. And then you've just got great songs that are just classics, like Somebody to Love, banger, timeless banger. White Rabbit, iconic. Like you've got a lot of good stuff. I like the way that the more upbeat, up tempo stuff is balanced with the slower, for lack of a better word, more surrealistic songs. So I've got nothing but good things to this album.
Yeah, listening to this album, like, it's it feels psychedelic in the sense that like every song I feel like is like a different genre. Maybe not like every single song, but like you jump like genres and moods a ton. Like you go from these like more classic rock songs to like more folky songs to blues to psychedelic, whatever that means, which is great. I love when you say psychedelic, because psychedelic can like mean fucking anything, right? Which is the point,
Some
which
out
is
there
what
shit, you know?
is so great about psychedelic. Um, but yeah, just a really cool. I don't think I've ever sat down and listened to this album like all together. Obviously, I've heard like the big songs, and I know how important it is in music history, and for the whole '60s movement. And like, I guess all these guys, all these fucking like San Francisco '60s bands, like Grateful Dead, Jefferson Airplane, Crosby's, they're all like friends with each other and all like work together and stuff. Um, so
Jerry was
it's
on this album actually.
yeah,
Is it?
wouldn't surprise me.
I'd have to look it.
Uh, yeah, they all like did drugs together and like came up with the with these albums. But yeah, just really cool. I really like the song "Go to Her" at the end. I'm like really glad that I stuck around mentally. It's kind of a long album, so like at the end of it, I was like, all right, time to move on. But I'm really glad I stuck around mentally to catch that one. Um, White Rabbit is just so badass. That song is just like just everything about that song is just badass. And I liked Embryonic Journey. I hadn't heard before, and I really liked that too. Um, yeah, and she has funny cars. Those are some of my favorite tracks on the album. So
And Embryonic Journey is such a whack ass name for a song.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like
That's a
nobody's talking about that in like 1965, you know?
Yeah.
but it's such a like nice like peaceful contrast, and then like White
Yeah.
Rabbit comes afterwards. It's like
It's like a
like
peaceful little thing that he's
yeah,
yeah,
but then you think about what it is, and it's like this is a song about giving birth.
yeah.
it's beautiful.
Um, I'm surprised nobody's talked about Plastic Fantastic Lover. It's
Oh
like,
yeah, that's a great song.
dude, it's almost like a rap song before rap even existed, man. Like I don't
He started it.
I don't know about that. But their delivery in that song, I don't know any of their names. I think the male vocalist he's sort of got that, the hippy dippy psychedelic voice, right? And it's he can definitely sound unique, like in Plastic Fantastic Lover. But I think the reason that the two biggest songs on this album are the two biggest is because of the female vocalist. I think that she is so unique for the time. She sounds like she's got like a very like powerful and haunting voice. Um,
She's got the same kind of like vibe as Maria on Screaming Females.
mm-hmm. But I think that like I don't know. I think White Rabbit is like such a weird song. I mean, it's so carried by her vocals. It's not really like built like a normal song, there's not just like verses and a chorus. It just sort of like crescendos into the end. And I think that's so neat. Um Embryonic Journey was a surprise. I really liked it though. It was just a pretty feel good acoustic track. And my best friend, I started listening to this and I thought it was going to be, oh, it's some hippy dippy cheesy shit. But I ended up really liking it. It went into some weird places. And it made me feel a lot more chipper than I thought it would. It is some cheesy hippy dippy shit, but it works,
It can be a little cheesy. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
At certain points it is, but like the moods change so much,
Mhm.
it moves on. I feel like.
Yeah.
But I think like when you think about like White Rabbit, it's like that time where like some of these psychedelic songs can be like really dark, kind of like Doors-esque kind of stuff. And I feel like that's like songs like that are like one of the first ones, and you're like, whoa.
Mhm.
Like imagine listening to that at a time would be like crazy. Just like what the fuck am I listening
Smoking
to?
weed my first time listening to that in the 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're tripping on acid and like seeing
I was just about
sounds.
to say, some LSD is like pure from the source,
Yeah. But yeah, I think I just wanted to talk about it because I think I feel like it's essential. It's an essential early 60s psychedelic kind of album. I think I need to be talked about. So anyway, I think I'm gonna give it a 9 actually. I think I know it's pretty cheesy, but I like it. I like the arrangements and the acousticy flute stuff, and I like it. So that's me.